Mr Deputy President, the Climate Change Net Zero Future Act 2023 put the Min's government's emissions reduction targets into law. It was a long overdue reform to not only meet our environmental responsibilities, but to capitalise on new economic opportunities. Reaching these ambitious targets will require a substantial expansion in the production of clean energy. I am worried, however, about the potential for the questionable corporate behaviour of some developers of large-scale renewable energy projects to diminish the trust and to diminish the confidence that communities have in the broader industry and to our net zero mission. Mr Deputy President, the proposal to develop a huge solar farm at Gundary, 10 kilometres south of Goulburn, is a particularly concerning case study that I will continue to monitor in this place. Recently, I looked over the Gundary site, along with the site for another proposed Merino solar farm just a few minutes up the road, with local residents. The developer of the Gundary project, Lightsource BP, is proposing a solar farm with 660,000 3-metre high solar panels covering 512 hectares. The site is surrounded by existing residential areas, a mixture of hobby farms and semi-rural homes, and the people who lived there came for its magnificent pastoral outlook and peaceful surroundings. The developer to date, disgracefully, has been unresponsive to residents' concerns over the project. The compensation package being offered by the developer through its so-called neighbourhood benefit sharing program is both manifestly inadequate in scale and restrictive in scope. Fair and reasonable compensatory schemes are just one aspect of the total package that regional communities should expect from large-scale energy projects. Indeed, these projects at a bare minimum should bring tangible economic benefits for local businesses and local workers, with negative impacts on local residents minimised. But Mr Deputy President, if developers fail to deliver on those expectations and are seen to ride roughshod over local communities, they not only put their own corporate reputation at risk, they undermine the reputation of the entire renewable energy sector. As a state and as a country and as a society, we have to get the transition to net zero right. We have to balance the need for new energy generation with competing priorities, including the pressing need for housing and the rights of established residents. And most of all, we need to ensure people that are affected by new developments are treated fairly and at the very least with respect. It would be a tragedy if any multinational acting belligerently killed the clean energy goose before it even lays its golden egg. The Gundary project will go before the Independent Planning Commission for assessment in coming weeks. The Goulburn community will rightly expect the Commission to meaningfully consider and address reasonably their legitimate concerns with or without Lightsource BP. That said, there are things that can be done outside the independent planning process to encourage renewable energy developers to be better corporate citizens and to protect the rights of local communities. Mr Deputy President, the government has taken the issue seriously, which is why it's expanded the jurisdiction of the Energy and Water Ombudsman, extending the Ombudsman's services to landholders and community members across New South Wales renewable energy zones. From December 24, the Energy and Water Ombudsman has been able to hear complaints about the renewable energy transmission infrastructure, and that is on top of work being done by the government to implement a rating scheme for developers of large-scale solar, wind and transmission projects. Mr Deputy President, having an independent ombudsman to investigate complaints with the power to make binding determinations and the carrot and stick of an independent rating scheme will help landholders and consumers when they're dealing with the might of big corporations. But in the meantime, the industry itself cannot and should not shirk its responsibility to protect its own corporate reputation and to secure a social licence for new developments. The need for the expansion of renewable energy generation is urgent, but that does not give developers free rein to do as they please.